Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV. Hope you're all doing very well. Hope you can all hear me above the noise of the engine of the boat. I'm just leaving Northern Ireland. You can just see it behind me in Mike from the Blue Territory in the port of Larne. Just getting off to Scotland, up near Stranraer, and then the 4-hour plus drive back down to Manchester. 2-week tour over here in Northern Ireland. Managed to watch obviously the football a couple of nights ago as we beat Leipzig by 3-1. And there's one particular player from that game that I want to talk about. Had an excellent game. Quite a few players had decent games there. You know, we saw Alvarez come on and score an assist. We saw Doku come on and score an assist. Excellent from those two guys. But I want to talk about somebody who started that game. 18-year-old Rico Lewis. Wow. As Pep says, what a player. Said this last season, he's absolutely fantastic, this young kid. He's brilliant. He's brilliant, so versatile, so flexible. Pep's got so much high praise for him. Look, he came through a few seasons ago actually. He played in the, I think in the EFL Trophy, probably about 4 years ago. Played one game this season after. Last season he played 23 times in total. Load of times in the league, about a dozen times in the league. Started a ton of games, and he played I think a lot in the FA Cup and the other cups. 23 games, and he was 17. Remember last season, 17 years old, playing that many times. And I think one of the things Pep said about him was that the role that John Stones is playing now, from right back and moving into midfield, that's the role Rico Lewis played last season, and Pep learned from Rico. So John Stones is learning from Rico Lewis how to play that role. I mean, that's just like phenomenal. It does blow your mind what this kid has achieved in such a short space of time. Actually, England squad was announced yesterday. I'm surprised, a little bit surprised that, you know, a bit cheeky. It's only 3 games in this season, but a few games in, sorry, that Rico wasn't included. But on top of the 23 games he played last season, he's already played 6 times for City this season, and we've not played too many games if you think about it. 7 league games, 2 in the Champions League, 1 in the League Cup. I think Community Shield's about 11 games we played, and he's featured in 6. And he's looked very, very good. Again, very composed, very calm. He's just fantastic. I mean, what more can I say? I suppose you want me to say a bit more, but he is fantastic. He's played in lots of different positions. Last season he's played mostly at right back, moving into midfield. He's played at left back, moving into midfield. This season he's played like, I think he's played that double pivot. He can play as a number 8. I mean, where else can he play? I reckon he can play false 9. He can play quite a few positions by the looks of things, because he's got it here. He's got football intelligence, and he's not afraid. He really isn't afraid of anything and anybody. And he puts himself about. He's only a little kid. He's even shorter than me. Yeah, I think he's about 5'7", 169 in new money, 1.69 m tall. But he gives it everything, and it's really interesting to see what Pep has said about him, because that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to, from the press conference, I'm just going to bend down to read it from my laptop, because guess what, guys, I can't remember everything that Pep said, but there's a lot of talk in the press conference after the game against Leipzig, and Pep was so enthusiastic about Rico. This is some of what he said. He said, what a player, what a player. I've been a manager for 14, 15 years and lucky to train one of the best players in the world in Barcelona. To find a player like him playing in the pockets, how he has to move as a holding midfielder, moving in the spaces, he's one of the best I've ever trained by far. Now that, coming from Pep, is high praise indeed. We've already seen Pep praise Phil Foden as one of the best youngsters he's ever trained, and now Rico Lewis, same thing. And look, you've got to remember, just a few of the players Pep's trained. Obviously he's referring to Messi there, Xavi, Iniesta, David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne. Okay, they were young when he trained some of them, but it's fantastic. It really is the way Rico Lewis has fitted in. He's fitted in so well. I mean, the only surprise for me last season was that after coming in, basically displacing Kyle Walker, that he was dropped, and you know, he went back, not into obscurity, he went back onto the bench. I was a bit surprised by that, a bit disappointed, because what he'd shown in the time that he played for the team last season, that he had so much to offer, and we can see that already this season that he's delivering. I mean, the few things that I like about him, generally he keeps things very simple. He gets the ball, controls it, bang, dead, and passes it on, usually quite quickly. Okay, now, you know, most of our players are very good at controlling the ball, and they need to be, but there's a few that aren't so clever at it. But he can work in really tight spaces, so you know you can give him the ball and he'll look after it, he'll lay it off, he'll take control of it, he'll do what's required most of the time. He's only 18, remember, he will still keep making mistakes. You know, that some of those mistakes have been deep in the opposition's half when you think, you know, you're far away from danger, but yeah, there's one or two that have cost goals, but let's not worry about that. But the way he's doing, you know, as I said, that control is fantastic. He keeps it simple, doesn't overcomplicate things, and taking the ball on the half turn, and he can move through the midfield as well. You know, when Pep's given him a little bit more freedom, played him a little bit differently to, you know, this double pivot role, we see that he's got a lot more skill and potential that's coming through. You know, he set up the goal for Phil Foden against RB Leipzig. Simple pass out to Bernardo. Rico Lewis didn't stop moving. He went from in to out. Well, basically, he's going from inside the pitch to down the line for Bernardo to roll the ball down the line for him. Perfect move, and then he cut the ball back straight to Phil Foden. Good finish from Phil Foden, and there's your assist from Rico. So he's showing us what he can do in so many different positions, and he's just going to get better and better and better, which is great for City. You know, having these youngsters coming through. I mean, as I said, Rico's only 18. We've got Phil Foden, who's still only 23. Haaland's what, 22, 23. Alvarez is 23. Doku's I think 21. A lot of young players coming through at City right now. Gvardiol's 21. This is going to set us up for so many years into the future. But the re-emergence of Rico Lewis is another nail in the coffin of the career of Calvin Phillips at City. 18-year-old Rico Lewis gets the start over Calvin for this game against RB Leipzig, and he barely puts a foot wrong. He does really well, does better than Calvin would. You know, I'm not. This is not a video or a comment hating on Calvin, because you know, as Pep keeps saying, Calvin is a good lad. He's popular. You know, he works hard and says all the right things. But Rico Lewis, he's just so clear. He's just so clear of Calvin Phillips. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting, because John Stones is back now. John Stones is back in training. I think he was on the bench against Leipzig. He'll be in contention for the game against Arsenal this weekend. Now, does Pep bring John Stones back and drop Rico Lewis? The worry for Rico is, I mean, he's signed this 5-year contract in the summer. The worry is John Stones comes back. John Stones is on the right, and look at the defence we've got behind. John Stones is on the right, moving into midfield. We've still got Walker, we've still got Akanji. Pep's tried to have Akanji in that role, it's not working. Rico's miles better. So you've got Akanji, you've got Aki, you've got Ruben Dias, you've got Gvardiol. Tons of defenders. You've got Sergio Gomez as well. All these defenders, and then you've got Rico Lewis. And when you move into midfield, you've got Kovacic. Now, Kovacic was hauled off in the game against Wolves, and he didn't start this game against RB Leipzig. So, you know, it's Rico for the time being above Kovacic. I don't want to knock Kovacic, because, you know, he had he was never present. He played really well in all the games until he picked up that little injury, missed a few games, and then he came back for that Wolves game and he just wasn't at it. I'm not going to say, you know, he should be dropped forever because of that. That's a bit short-term thinking and a knee-jerk reaction. But you got Kovacic there, you got Johnny Stones, obviously you got the man himself, Rodri. So there's 3, you know, players there that Rico will be fighting for that spot. I mean, I'm not even going to include Calvin Phillips because he doesn't come into the equation. But you got Bernardo's back from injury, so he's available. You've got all the other players. You've got the attacking players. You know, like I said, Bernardo, Phil Foden. You've got Matheus Nunes. You've got Doku, Grealish, Alvarez, and Haaland. You've got so many players, and KDB's coming back at Christmas. So right now, I don't know what the immediate future is going to be for Rico. I mean, could he play against Arsenal? That would be a huge thing. It's a bit wobbly on this ball. That would be a huge thing if he can start the game against Arsenal. I really do think that would be huge for him, starting above people like Johnny Stones, above people like Matheus Nunes, Calvin Phillips, Kovacic. That would be incredible. But anyway, we'll wait and see what happens this weekend. But Rico Lewis, I mean, you're not going to forget the name. I would normally say remember the name, but you won't forget it. Kid's unbelievable, an unbelievable talent that's delivering for City. He's a City boy through and through, 18 years old. He's the future. Guys, if you're new to the channel, it would be fantastic if you could subscribe. You get videos like this, you know, when I'm on my travels, when I'm touring, and you get plenty of videos when I'm touring in Germany in a couple of weeks' time. So guys, please subscribe to the channel, and if you can hit that bell icon, you'll be notified as soon as new videos come out. Give us a thumbs up if you like what you see, and we'll see you around, Blues.